welcome back to Blimber's Review. Today I brought the Ultimate Werewolf action figure from NECA. This is based on the movie called The Howling, and I mean it's quite obvious, you can see, because the box itself is definitely made out of its original poster. So look at that. The box itself is relatively bigger than the Ultimate figures from Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Imagine your worst fear a reality. The Howling Ultimate Werewolf action figure. The Howling NECA. The backside of the box. Look at the moonlight and the image of the picture of the action figure itself. Really cool figure. Really cool. The other side, the same. The Howling. Bottom. Direction, development, sculpt, paint, photography, packaging, and graphic design. Blah blah blah. And when you open this, of course, you have the figure itself in there. I just took it out for a moment. And you have another official image of the figure from NECA. Look at that. There it is, the Howling. Let's put this aside. Like that, because why not? So now we have to see whatever's inside the box. First of all, you have the figure itself. It is relatively big. I think it's about the size of the scorched xenomorph from Alien Romulus, from the Ultimate Scorched xenomorph figure from NECA. I don't have that alien figure with me anymore, but it was apparently the size of this figure. He is somewhat heavy as well, if you hold it from the leg, and he really is a fascinating figure. I really love this figure. Anyways, you have the figure itself. Just gonna put it on the soft surface because I don't have anywhere else to put this guy. You have two additional head sculpt. I currently have the articulatable jaw head sculpt right now, but you also have the option to have the ideal head with closed jaw and the open jaw. Of course, when it comes to the fixed sculpting without any articulation, there's no joints or anything at the jaw, so of course the detail can be much better than the one that I have currently attached, where the jaw articulates, but both are really amazing. Like, the painting of the gum, love the sculpting on the teeth, could have been better a bit, but I don't expect too much for not too expensive figure, And of course you have the peg over here. Yeah, really cool. You have nicely sculpted tongue, upper jaw. Look at that. There's no like direct throat. It's blocked inside, but I don't expect too much from an Ultimate figure. And nextly, you have the separate hand pieces. Of course, I have some other hand exchanged from what it was originally attached when I first got it outside of the box. This is the opened hand. They are both sculpted slightly different, but it is really nicely done. The texture of the fur over here, really cool. Look how sharp the claws are. Look how nicely detailed the palm is. Look at the wrinkles and everything. What really is impressive about this figure is that there absolutely is no paint chipping. That was always the problem with me, and that's always the reason why I never really buy Ultimate figure, but I needed at least a single werewolf figure in my collection, and I think I made a pretty good choice. You have another opened grip hand over here. Look at that. And this is its right hand that ideally comes pre-attached to the figure inside the original packaging, new inbox. I'm not sure if this finger's warped because of the way it was packed, or if it's meant to be like that. But it is there. It's not broken or anything, but it looks kind of weird, but still really nice. Palm detail, everything. I love this figure so much. And you have the NECA base that they give you, which I'm not a big fan of. These kind of stand can possibly create scuff as you try to attach this thing to the figure. But, oh wow, it is kind of hard to attach it. this thing. Yeah, just like that. There's a ball joint at the tag section over here, and you have a shorter stand, just in case you want to keep this werewolf crouched, in somewhat crouched position. That is cool, and I think the space is better than what was given for the Scorched Alien. Yeah, it's not rough, it's nicely made. I don't think there's gonna be too much scuff issue on this guy, but I already did have one, which I'm gonna show you now as we get through the appearance. Look at that. That is really cool figure, isn't it? Well, aforementioned, this face, you can articulate the jaw, and it is really cool. If you look at the eye section, it is really nicely painted, because it's in bright yellow with a dark pupil. And I think this has to be one of the best werewolf figure out there that I've ever seen. I also want the werewolf from American Werewolf in London. They also have the ultimate figure of that, so I'm definitely gonna try to pick that up if I ever get a chance as well. Really cool. And among that movie, The Howling is also really one of the greatest werewolf-based movie out there. It has to be classic. I think it was from 1981, from what I remember. And yeah, well, generally, if you look at the detail, there definitely is quite a lot of things to talk about, but at the same time, not really, because everything's covered with feather. Everything's textured with the feather and things, just claws. It's werewolf, I mean. So I just want to, instead of, going with one by one detail for today's review, I just want to show you the overall figure over here, because it is pretty darn cool. Look at that. The elbow section, the extended longer feather or fur, yeah, look at that. I love how they are textured. Really is fascinating figure, and I really do love this. It is really cool. It is way too cool. And regarding the scuff that I talked about earlier, there's no paint chipping, but as I articulated the elbow for this guy, you see I have created a ruined the detail of the sculpting of the fur here, as I articulated the elbow joint like that. So just in case, just be careful with your figure if you ever get this guy in your shelf. Just be aware. I don't want you to make the same mistake as I did. So that's a bit unfortunate. But the biggest problem when it came to ultimate figures from NECA is all these paint chipping you get from articulating these individual joints. But this one, no, you don't really have to worry about it. Everything's nicely, it's pre-colored plastic piece, so it's not, they don't have any paint over these joints anymore, for this figure at least. And especially the feet is made out of a ratchet joint. Yeah, it kinda ruins the detail a bit, but yeah, though with exposed joints, I'm more of a big fan of these kind of joints where the painting is not overlapped to the original color of the plastic. And that way, I can worry less. No, I don't even have to worry about making paint scuffs or any paint chipping every time I articulate the figure. So, yeah. Actually, I want to get into articulation now, because, everything's feather. It's feather. With a teeny tiny tail at the back. The articulation is quite fascinating on this guy. It's really, really, really cool. So the jaw opens about this much, closes about this much for this head, this exclusive head sculpt out of all the three that's given. So it's double jointed neck, so you can definitely make it look up a lot. And the headpiece where you attach the head is also made out of ball joint. This midsection is ball joint. I think the last one is as well, so it can look down about that much as well. Can do a little bit, quite a bit of pivot but looking up that is really cool thing you can do. The torso is made out of ball joint, so it can look up about that much, go down that much. That's a lot. It's a ball joint, so you can move it around freely, rotate it side to side as well. You can open move the arm up about that much. There is a bicep swivel over here. This one doesn't move because it's kind of stiff, and there's a single jointed elbow about 90 degrees. That is really cool. That really is cool. Though it's single jointed, I think these are quite classic when it comes to these kind of figures, single jointed figures, classic. There's a hinge at the wrist and a side to side 360 rotation. There's no extended leg feature like you can do for Marvel Legends. It moves up, and since this lower waist level of figure is made out of soft material, you don't have to worry about scuff. If you're type of guy to get bothered with scuffs, just like myself, it splits about that much, up and down that much, and yeah, it is pretty cool. Just gonna turn the fan on for a bit, but yeah, the leg goes in about that much, stretches about that much. These kind of joints are really stiff, just be careful. It moves, this part moves, so do this lower section. The feet is made out of a ratchet joint, so it definitely moves as well, but it is just really stiff for my figure. So I think this werewolf is really such a cool figure, like especially the fact that NECA managed to create it without any major issues that their Ultimate figures had before. Especially the painting part, I'm definitely impressed and really happy about that they improved it with recently released figures. I think it is really cool. It's been a couple months since this guy has been released, but it is still a recent figure. Besides this scuff that I got from articulating the joints, besides that, everything else is near to perfect. I want to give this guy 9.5 out of 10. That is for sure. Without this issue I had, 10 out of 10. I mean, it really is a cool figure. I really like this figure. I'm just gonna try to get some few of the poses done with this guy so you can get the idea of how cool this guy is. This is kind of funny, but somewhat like Power Rangers pose, I don't know. But you get the idea. Like, really is a cool display when it comes to the sculpting. I mean, the sculpting is fascinating on this thing, so look at that. Look at it from diagonal angle, from this side. That is such a cool figure, you can see. If you want to make this guy look like he's howling, then here it is. Look at that. Definitely a cool werewolf pose. One of the classic poses for Howling. With the moonlight at the back, it would have been much better, of course. I think with some kind of diorama, this guy would be a masterpiece with it. Now I really want to get the American Werewolf inlanded figure as well. Look at that. That is really a cool piece. And with, I don't know, maybe a dash pose towards you or something. Really is cool. Such a cool figure. Yeah, I really do recommend getting this guy in your hand, especially if you don't have any werewolf figure that you feel like you might need it. Just like if you're in my shoe right now, then definitely go get this guy. Really do recommend it. For its price point, it is definitely amazing. Worth picking up. I'm not a big fan of Ultimate figures, again, due to paint chipping most of the time, but this one doesn't have it at all. And I really can't see how NECA figures are improving over time. It is getting much better. They really are. Sculpting, accuracy to the film, feels very authentic. And yeah, just besides all the issues where they have quite a lot of bootlegs out there, then it's all fine. it's really the best to get the NECA figures as soon as they are released, or even pre-order it from the official NECA website in the first place. But yeah, anyways guys, thanks for watching, and yeah, I think I will come back with another horror figure review. I'm not so sure what I'm gonna review next, but yeah, I'll see you in the next video.